Hi, my name is Malia Ellis, and today I'm going to be presenting on the psychological aspects of sport and exercise, specifically pertaining to my target population that I chose to study. So, I chose to study young children in sports. I specifically observed a 6 year old boy named Levi Walker, who is a family friend, and he also plays on the sports team of my nephews. So it was really easy for me to be able to go to these baseball games and see him play because I was also going there to see my nephews play. It was really fun. Yeah, so I chose that target population ultimately because I want to work with children in my career. And even if it has nothing to do with physical education, like what I end up doing with my career, I do know that one day I'm going to have a family of my own, and I really would love nothing more than to coach some of their sports when they're younger, um, especially soccer and basketball, because those are my two sports. Also, I am interested in coaching my nieces and nephews because they're at a good age of where I have enough expertise, but it's not so intense. It's more fun and just building relations, but also learning the sport, but not at such an intense level. So, yeah, that's my target population, and that's why I chose it. I ultimately want to work with children, and I really just wanted to learn the best ways how to be the best coach. Alrighty, so when it comes to children in sport, they do have influential factors, excuse me. So they are influenced by physical environment, social environment, and family culture. These things can be broken down into specific examples. So for physical environment, for example, I live on the central coast of California. We have pretty much the same weather year round, so you could say our physical environment here is very much appropriate year round for sports because it doesn't rain a whole lot here. It's pretty fair weather, so you can kind of play sports all year round. This allows kids to exactly do that, play sports all year round. Also, there is the social environment, which that includes influences from school and also positive social interactions or possibly negative ones. Hopefully not, but that is a possibility as well. And then also within family culture, we kind of look into whether they played sports and, if they are supporting their child playing sports or not. These can all have very influencing, almost control of these children. So these physical and social environmental factors, as well as family culture, affect not only motivation of that child, but also their desire to compete, their arousal, and their need for feedback and reinforcement. Now, another important aspect of teaching sport and exercise is teaching, especially children, goal setting. We want to establish effective goal setting at a young age because personally I never had that. It was kind of like, okay, write down 3 goals and you're good to go. And like the coach or teacher, whatever, never really checked on it. But looking back now, like my goals weren't really that attainable, and we never went back to kind of reconvene and see how we're getting towards getting those goals. So yeah, here we're focusing on the outcome goals, performance goals, and process goals, all very different, but all either long-term or short-term goals. So specifically for Levi Walker, 6 year old baseball player, his outcome goals consist of winning the next baseball game and receiving a medal at the end of the season. His performance goals included hitting the baseball farther than he ever has and also hitting a minimum of 3 balls per game. And then lastly, for the process goals, one of them is to take at least one deep breath before walking onto the plate, kind of to shake those nerves, calm down, and then also practice baseball swings for at least 2 hours per week. So those are all great, but now we need to focus on, okay, how do we get to these goals? So in order to achieve the goals, we have a couple ways to get there. So in order to win the next baseball game, we are going to practice hitting the ball, because by practicing hitting the ball, you are going to help maybe bring those points up in a game, ultimately helping your team win the game. And then also, in order to get a medal at the end of the season, that's really just going to occur if you participate in games and practices and also really having a positive attitude and being a team player. And then, so for the performance goals, hitting the baseball farther than he ever has and hitting a minimum of 3 balls per game can be done by showing up early to practice. So showing up, maybe 30 minutes early, just practicing hitting the ball is going to help, further his swing. So making him hit the baseball farther than he ever has, and also helping him build up his ability to hit the ball. So hitting it a minimum of 3 balls per game. And then lastly, sorry, I'm going back and forth, we have the process goals. So something that I kind of thought up to remember to take at least one deep breath before walking out on the game is by having somebody out in the stands kind of throw out a code word to Levi or any other child to help them remember to, oh, okay, I'm supposed to take a breath. So an odd example that popped into my head was having like the mom, banana slushy, and they hear that, that's going to stick out to them because that's an odd thing to hear in a crowd. And he's going to be like, okay, I need to take a deep breath. Takes a deep breath. And then also practice baseball swings for at least 2 hours per week. So he can do this by doing that at home, and that is just going to overall help with his confidence in the game. Is going to kind of hit all these other goals we have of winning the game, hitting the ball harder, hitting a minimum of 3 balls. So it's really important to understand the actual importance of goal setting and how it should be done effectively and appropriately. Alrighty, so now we have my verse that I chose, which is Proverbs 19:21, which reads, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." I chose this. I find this verse to be extremely comforting because in a lot of times I kind of find myself in a dilemma of like, I don't know what career I want to do. What am I going to do? And I have all these plans kind of built up inside me of what I could and couldn't do, but I really just have to trust in the process and understand that our Savior is, he's constantly working. He's doing what is best for me. He has a plan. And, I find a lot of comfort in that, everything I'm doing is for a reason. He has reasoning behind all of this, all of my thoughts, everything, all my actions. So that's why I chose that one. And I think it's such a great thing to stick into my mind and kind of hold on to while I'm finishing up college. That I may bounce from here to here, but that is all okay because that's his plan. That is his plan. Alrighty, and then what I learned in this class, so I learned physiological techniques, understanding the motives of all individuals, effective goal setting, and then ultimately learning all these things just really taught me how I am going to be a successful coach. And that's what I really wanted to take from this class, because I do know that I want to coach down the line. And while it might not be some high level of sport, I still do want to be the best coach that I can be. And when I say how to be a successful coach, I don't mean numbers of wins. I think a successful coach is someone that, brings the team together, helps individuals find themselves on and off the field, and being someone that my athletes, my team can lean on. Alrighty, and then lastly, I just have my references, and that is all for my project. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.